Okay, Pops, we're back.
Yeah.
We've got Yoni Barron, service advisor / writer / advocate extraordinaire.
Every bit.
Hit the mic a little harder.
Every bit.
Come on, man. We're going to be talking about today the markup of different services within the dealership, for example, like getting wheels repaired or having a vehicle detailed. And I know, Dad, this is a pain point from your career, so I'll let you and Yoni go back and forth on that.
Yeah.
I do just want to call out before we do, just briefly,
Yes.
back at yourautoadvocate.com, super proud, super excited what we're doing. You know, one of the biggest frustrations that we've learned from folks is like, how do I negotiate a car deal? How do I email someone? What do I say? Who do I
You
email?
hit send. Damn it. That's usually the first thing.
Now you do. Built
Yeah.
into the app, click on the email templates button, dealer information right there, the info that my dad has written for how to communicate right there, pre-fill all the info, copy button, paste button, send.
You know, can I
So
say
proud.
one thing?
No, I think we should get into the video.
Well, before we get into the video, you know, the email templates I wrote, they only work on a guy like me.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway, we'll see if they actually work in practice. Tee it
Yeah.
up though, Pops. So what was so frustrating in your career about some of these things that we're going to talk about today?
Well, there are vendors that every store uses. Okay. And for instance, wheel repair, dent and ding repair, and you might have an agreement with the vendor as to what you're going to pay them. But that isn't what the service department ends up being able to charge the sales department or the customer for those things. There's a markup that gets applied to sublet services, isn't there, Yanni?
Yeah, there is a markup to sublet services.
Because the owner doesn't feel that it's fair that you have to create a ticket and not get paid.
Let's backtrack though. Yanni. Can you explain to us what some of the sublet services are before my dad starts waxing poetic about this deep-seated resentment he has towards prior experiences during his career? Long sentence. Go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to give him a few minutes to breathe and calm down, and in through the mouth, out through the nose, or vice versa. So sublet services, a client comes in for routine maintenance and, wants to have their car detailed in the springtime, or, while doing the visual walk around on the car, you find that the client has, a major scuff on their wheel. We naturally present to them options and opportunities to keep their car looking good. Wheel refinishing, paintless dent repair, you have detail services that all naturally come with a markup that's, figured out based upon a percentage of what the business wants to make from the vendor that's coming to or leases space from the location to utilize to provide their services.
Okay.
Yeah. So the vendor would charge X. Let's say it was wheel repair, road rash on a wheel. The vendor might charge internally to the service department, say $125 per wheel. And you would mark that up to a customer to $150 or $175 per wheel. Or if that customer was, say, the newer used car department, you would mark that. Why are you laughing? you would mark that up to $150 or $175.
Yanni, why did you cause so much pain in my dad's life, man? It's
He
all
didn't-
coming out
he
right
didn't.
now.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Well-
Yanni would have given it to me at cost. It's the owner that said he couldn't.
Well, I think there's a little bit of clarification that needs to happen here. When
Okay.
it came to sublet services and whatever your markup agreement was between you and the owner, we really didn't write up many of those repair orders for you. That was between you and the warranty administrator or the service manager. So
Yes.
I'd like to take a step back and say it wasn't me.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's you, Ray,
Yeah.
not me.
No, well, I didn't think it was you that was sticking it to me. I always thought that you were just following directions from people above you that said,
We
"This
are
is
all
your
in hands.
opportunity. This is your opportunity to stick it to Ray, and it's such a good opportunity. We're going to let you stick it to Ray 5, maybe 6 days a week."
You take it so nicely. I mean, it's amazing after so many years of experience. But so the markup of services when a client comes in, for a detail or a wheel repair, like, Ray was talking about, there's a markup to it. And, some of the reasoning behind it, not just because, of course, the business owner wants to be profitable on sublet services, is because there is a transaction of hands between, the vendor and the person who pays the vendor, which is usually the parts department.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So the parts department naturally is marking it up on their side to get paid for their service of paying the vendor.
Of having facilitated it.
Sure, you can say facilitated. I'm going to say paying the vendor. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the service department is looking to make their profit off of that job too. And moving up the food chain, the owner is looking to make his profit off of that job as well. Now, on the back side of things, and this is really case by case between business to vendor, is that some business owners will also get a kickback at the end of the month from the vendor based upon the amount of total volume that they provide them from sales and service.
Wow.
Yes.
So can I ask a very simple, somewhat naive question?
I like naive.
Please.
I am naive. Yeah. If I'm a car buyer, car owner, should I be looking to get some of these things done in other places because of all the hands that are involved? And my follow-up question is lease return. Is this the process that happens? Like, let's say I've got road rash on my wheels. Like, is this what's going to happen, lease return, and that's why I'm going to foot a big bill? So, like, it's a two-part question with lease being the more like, go ahead, Yoni.
I'll take the first question. I think, Ray, you could take the second question. So, I mean, in many, locations, at the dealership, mostly the vendors that are supplying those services to them also have their own, facilities that, are usually within the area of that dealership. If you've got a detail facility that is also renting space at the dealership to provide the detail services to the sales customers and the service customers, they'll usually have their own location that most likely, because you're cutting out the middleman, you can get the same service done at a reduced rate.
And I'm not trying to like throw shade at dealerships by any stretch, because trust me, I understand. I'm just saying, I'm thinking to myself, like, it's not just one middleman because of the multiple departments within the dealership and the owner. We're talking about parts taking a cut because they do an administrative role, service taking a cut, and like the potential. So it's like, lots of layers.
And when it comes to a lease return, Mini and BMW, one of my major complaints is that they have the dealership personnel do the lease end inspection. So they make employees at the dealership break it to customers gently that they have an issue with the car. Yeah.
Gently,
that they have an issue with
just
the car.
Just like how you stuck it to Ray,
Saturday. That was my opportunity to stick
gently.
And that's how I learned it, was from the service department, so I could do it smoothly and gently.
But then, Pops, would that lease return, like the invoice that gets sent to that customer? Let's use road rash again.
Well, there's a form that you go through every item on the car, and it'll ask about each wheel. And if you check that the wheel has road rash damage, it's $150 per wheel. So if there's 3 of the 4 wheels, it's $450 that the customer's going to be charged. The customer gets mad at the employee at the dealership for having pointed it out.
But is that $150 then going back to fund these sublet services that
if those charges are against the car, that's money that Mini or BMW Financial Services is going to collect, which allows them to then lower the price of the vehicle to the dealership by that amount so that the dealership can do the repairs.
Gotcha.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
but
please.
Then, I don't mean to interrupt, Zach, but then can't the dealership, if they're purchasing that car, pay to have those services performed at an internal lower rate?
Oh, of course. Well, in a lot of dealerships, it could be at an internal lower rate. It seemed as if the dealerships I worked at, it was whatever the best negotiating that the owner did on his behalf got raised quite a bit as to what the sales department was going to pay for it. Because I will never forget the time when it was decided that made greater financial sense for us to not have our own detail department and bring in an independent concern to do our detailing for us. And I remember when we first got this service that the negotiated fee for a new car get ready was $85. Okay, that's what our company paid their company. But the internal charge to the sales department was like $115. Okay. And then 6 months into this new program, I get an email from the owner how he has negotiated a much better deal for us. And it's now $75 that we're paying, but the internal cost went up to $135. Okay. And I sent an email to the owner saying, I don't need you to negotiate this stuff for me anymore, because every time you negotiate it, the price goes down for you and the cost goes up for me. I don't get it.
The negotiation fee, it's an administration fee that he's applying to you.
Yeah,
The parts department gets some.
Yeah, and then who knows how much those people kick back to him at the end of every month. I have no idea on top of it. I just know that every time he negotiated a better deal, it cost me more money.
So, to go back on the topic here, and I hear you loud and clear. I mean, we both have seen it. We both have been involved.
It's just
with
part
it
of the business.
Way too many years.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately part of the business. But, in many situations, and a client is limited on time and scheduling, they'll get a service done at a dealership because of the convenience factor.
Mm-hmm.
There is paying for valet, or you go park your car yourself and save $40. But being aware that, and it's not something that is negotiable, I do have to mention, sublet services are really one of those few locked-in fees that are not negotiable. Yes. But, if you do your research, spend your time, find out maybe who the vendor is that they're inviting over that's coming by. You can, save yourself a few bucks.
My favorite, just between the three of us, my favorite was
the internet.
was when we would do a dealer exchange. Okay, and it might be a dealer that was 30 miles from us, and the owner would not allow us to drive the car, and drive a car there and drive the car back. We had to use his rollback services. Okay, and it didn't matter that it was 15 miles away. It was $150. Okay, that we paid to use his rollback services when we didn't even want to use his rollback services. And even if you would have sent the salesperson to drive there, he still was going to charge $150 against that deal for his.
Oh, wait a minute, Ray.
Yes,
wait a minute.
yes.
Let's think about this side of it.
Yeah.
Isn't there a level of liability or insurance that's involved between having an employee in a car, putting miles on it, the road chips?
Absolutely there is. And it's no different than if you have a driver of your rollback, okay, suddenly assume those very same responsibilities. It's all coming out of the same pocket.
Guys, I just had an idea.
Yeah. We're in the wrong business?
Well, I mean, that's apparent to each of us. Yeah, I mean, Yoni's got the most incredible farm. Just throwing that out there. He's got a little garden action going on. That's Yoni. Yeah. That's his calling.
Okay.
For you and me, I feel like we'd both be great hand models. I know that's shocking to everyone out there. I mean, just look at those. Look at that. I was going to say, Pops, now that we figured out how to do the call-in show,
we haven't figured it out.
By the time this video is out, we will have figured.
We think we will.
Yanni, we got to have you on the show live, man. I think that'd be really special. You and Kimberly both.
I'm excited for you guys to come back, to the East Coast in general, and to do the live feed that way too. I'm very excited. I was actually going to talk to you about, doing like a Q&A maybe of, compiling, the list of the top 20 questions and, burn through them and get people their answers that they're looking for directly.
Because I'm listening to you guys kind of just go back and forth there. It's A, hilarious, and B, it's like, I want to. You don't get to drink any more beer because your gout's bothering you. I want a beer. Yanni can have a beer too. Yeah. And I just want to listen. Like, it's like we're at a little campfire, a little virtual campfire.
Yeah, I can't wait to do the marshmallows and we can make s'mores.
Anyway, we've done our due diligence on this topic. Sublet services, should you get them at the dealership? Yeah. Convenience factor? Absolutely. Should you understand what you're getting into? Yes. And that's what we've tried to do here. Thanks for bringing it up, Yanni. It was a good topic.
What was the minimum that was it 15 or 20% was the minimum markup that had to be
20% on some. Yeah. Others are a little bit more.
Yeah. But the minimum was 20%.
There you go.
Yeah, it was good for somebody.
See you, Yanni. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Yoni.
All right. Bye, Zach. Bye, Ray.
Bye.